Introduction Part 2. And for this lecture, I continue to talk about the retail store organization related to centralized merchandising, and you will also learn about decentralized merchandising organization. And also, I will talk about the relationship of merchandising division to other divisions. And also, you will learn about the importance of mathematics to buying and merchandising. As this course is designed to teach you the basic retail math, you will learn the importance of math to buying and merchandising, and you will learn more details about the retail math from the next chapter. So let's go ahead and start to talk about organization of the merchandising division. And this is related to centralized merchandising, which you learned in the previous lecture. For the merchandising division of the retail corporation, the headquarters, they often have three main divisions. First, merchandising, second, planning, third, product development. And especially for this course and for this chapter, I will focus on the merchandising division because this is the department and the division deal with this retail math. And I will start to talk about the head of the merchandising division, so the highest levels of the position of the department. So let's start to talk about the general merchandise manager. They called as GMM. And these managers, so GMM, they create, establishes, and interpret merchandising policies. And they also have additional titles of vice president. So they are the vice president of merchandising. And their main functions are planning and control. And once again, this position will be the head of the merchandising division. And the next level is gonna be divisional merchandise manager, called as DMM. And they monitor sales, inventories, and promotional activities of department. So they have a specific department to focus on compared to the general merchandise manager will deal with all these merchandise for the company. And divisional merchandise manager maintain profit goals, and they are gonna monitor all this for the specific department or the area. So they are focusing on certain area or the departments. And then the next level will be the buyer. So buyer, they implement company merchandising policies, plans, and procedures with the department. And they're responsible for planning purchases and sales. And especially this buyer, they are gonna use this retail math a lot. So retail math mainly related to this buying, purchases, and sales. And then next level will be the assistant. So they'll be like buyer assistant. And they serve as understudied for the next higher position. So they're gonna help the next level people, so like buyer, to help to purchase or predict the plans and so on. And the other parts of the position for this division will be merchandising staff viewers. And they provide specialized information of importance to the buying and merchandising of goods. And oftentimes they're gonna be dealing with quality control or some kind of like a merchandise research. So they have like this specialized information about this product or merchandising of goods. So now you see that all different like position related to this merchandising division. And now let's talk about the decentralized merchandising organization. And we briefly discussed about this in the previous lecture, and they are oftentimes, buyers work out of the store rather than a centralized headquarters. Compared to the centralized merchandising organization, they work out of the store. And they often have this sole proprietorship, so like their sole ownership about the product and responsible for more stuff. So buyer is often the owner and may be responsible for the total operation of the store. So more responsibility. And additional responsibility of this buyer may include supervision of the salespeople, and they also arrange the merchandise for the store. So there are like more work to do based on this decentralized merchandising organization for the buyer. And also retail merchandising by the manufacturer, you can think about that. And it is a trend for the manufacturer, especially for the very famous national brand. Very famous national brands manufacturer, they have started their own retail divisions. So they also work as a manufacturer, but at the same time, they can have their own retail divisions. So the buyers are buying merchandise mainly from their company's inventory. So these examples include St. John's, John and Levi Strauss, and Guess. These are the apparel company. And what they're doing is that they are making the internal purchases. So they are buying their product from their own factories. And let's look at the example about the St. John. St. John boutique, they located nationwide and they are stocked exclusively with St. John's apparel and accessories. And the St. John buyer located at the company's corporate headquarters, and they actually in the California Irvine, and then they allocate an assortment, and you're going to learn more about this concept. So they kind of distribute the product of the St. John goods for each boutique. And also benefit of having their own merchandise for their own retail store is gonna be because they have like a higher visibility given to the St. John product, and also because they have this product from their own inventory, internal inventory, they can experience an increase in profit from purchasing goods internally. So that's the reason nowadays it's a trend. Many manufacturers, they started their own retail divisions. All right, so now let's talk about the relationship of merchandising to other divisions. So we talked about this merchandising division, and now we are going to talk about some other divisions in the company. So other division can include this financial control division, and they supervise the budget overall, and they really work closely with merchandising division. And I'll talk more details about each division from the next slide, and I'll briefly talk about each division here. So operations division. They are the division to move things smoothly for the company. So such as like store maintenance, or like protection, loss prevention, or also customer service or shipping delivery. So these are all things to make things move very smoothly. So they are dealing with this kind of work. And before they had been trained the new employees, but now lots of companies, they have a separate division for this human resources division. In human resources division, they mainly focus on hiring, training new employees. And then the other last division that I want to talk about is sales promotion division. And they are dealing with the advertising, visual merchandising, and public relations, so related to sales promotion. How can you promote the sales for the product for the company? So let's go ahead and start to talk about financial control division. So once again, they supervise the budget and work closely with the merchandising division, and they maintain accounting record and supervises the credit department, so keeps merchandising statistics, so dealing with the number and the dollar budget amount. So financial control is gonna be their main job. And the head of this division is called as a controller, or they called as a financial manager. So they are in charge of this. supervising all these budgets and the account and so on. Controller, also called as financial manager, will be in charge of those. And next is gonna be operations division. So make things much faster and move things smoother is their roles. So they try to maintain stores and provide housekeeping, and they also handle shipping and delivery, and they process received merchandise and manage the warehouse and workrooms, so like dealing with how to get the products and so on. Also related to the logistics work and provide asset protection or loss prevention, and also they have to oversee their customer service. So once again, their jobs is to move things much smoothly for the company and the stores. And the next one is gonna be human resources division, and they are in charge of hiring, training employees, and also manage employee benefits, so related to the employees. So for related to the human resources, and they administer performance evaluation about their employees, and they also handle labor relations. So all the work they do is dealing with that human resources they have. And sales promotion department division, they communicate retail image and merchandise to motivate customer. So they try to develop and oversee the advertising, visual merchandising, and signage. Also store layout, because that's gonna be related to the sales promotion, and atmosphere, environment of the store, and they also deal with these public relations because these are related to sales promotion. So they focus on how to promote the sales based on all these different tools. Okay, so now you learn about the other divisions of the company headquarters. And now, finally, let's talk about the importance of mathematics to buying and merchandising. So why it is important to understand the math for buying and merchandising? Because the main purpose of the company and to run the business, they need to make a profit, right? And also to buy and sell and to calculate all this, you need to understand the math. So retailers compete for the consumer's business, and due to the competitive nature of retailing, merchandisers must compete effectively to realize profit goals. So you have to have a good plan. You cannot be very impulsive. So you need to have a good plan for the purchases, the buying the product. And to sell those, how can you sell better? And what kind of product you want to buy, all this. Not just types of product, but you need to think about the merchandise in the budget wise. So you have to understand all this number and how to calculate different components. And also to make profit. Imagine that if you buy the product from the manufacturer or the vendor. Vendors are the company who sell the product to the retailer. And if you get the product from your vendor and if you sell at the same price, then you cannot make profit. So you have to think about how you can make profit based on your merchandise that you have. So that's the reason it's really important to understand the math. You need to know that. Also, you need to analyze the past history and what's going to be predicted for the next season or the year. So the understanding of buying practices and technique is necessary to secure the maximum return on investment too. Also, the business is to buying the product again and increase the investment about this product, and you can sell this again and make a profit again, and you can pay your employees and you can run your business. So now you know why it's important to understand the mathematics, right? And also let's look at this. Measuring the buyer's efficiency and also measuring the company's efficiency, you're gonna deal with this math, like a retail math. So people will measure if you become the buyer, they're gonna measure the efficiency based on the sales. So the number and the math. So sales scores, sales per square foot, or percent change in sales from the previous year, and sales achieved at similar store. So it's better to have more sales. And based on this number, you can be measured for your efficiency. And you're going to learn more details about these concept sales, how you can calculate these. So don't worry about the how to calculate these because you're going to learn it, but just think about how you can measure the buyer's efficiency. And also the inventory. And also we're going to talk about this inventory. This is the stock. So how much merchandise you have. And you will be measured by, if you become a buyer for your efficiency, you will be measured by this inventory, stock turnover, how quickly you can replenish your floor. So the number of times that you can get the new merchandise and put it on the floor. If you have a higher number, you can say that you have a higher stock turnover. And percentage of stock shortages to sales, also you will be measured by this for your efficiency. You are better not to have no shortages to sales. It's better to have a lower percentage of this. And margin, also we're gonna talk about that because sales is not gonna be it. You have to calculate this margin also later for the profit. And we're gonna talk about this initial markup, maintain markup, gross margin, operating profit, and gross margin, return on inventory. But that means that your sales may not reflect, it's not gonna be your actual profit because you have to minus the amount of the price that you pay to your vendors. Also, you have to deduct some expenses that you spend. Then you can calculate this margin. So what's your actual margin or what's your actual profit? And what's gonna be that, gross margin return, that the, profit return on your inventory. So you'll be measured by this for your efficiency. So the business is about that. The sales, inventory, margin, these are all important concepts, and you will know more details about these concepts, and also you will learn how to calculate all these. That's gonna be it for this chapter. And let's go ahead and do some summary for this chapter. So first, you learn how to define retailing and merchandising, and then we talked about retail store organization and centralized merchandising, decentralized merchandising, and different the rank or the levels of the position of the merchandising department. And you also learn the relationship of merchandising division, and you also learn about other divisions in the headquarters, and you have to work closely because these are all, even though I said that you're mostly closely working with the financial department, other division, these are all related. Your main goal is to make profit, and all these divisions need to work really closely. And also you learn the importance of mathematics to buying and merchandising because you're dealing with the number and budget, and that's gonna be related to your sales and also inventory and margin. So you learn the importance of the math to buying and merchandising. And this is introduction. From the next time and from the next chapter, you will learn more about the details, how you can calculate all these numbers. So that's gonna be it for chapter 1, and let's talk more about this retail math and the details about that from the next chapter. So that's it.